I'm talking about the property details. Like you're presenting it in a format, in a message to someone else, a broker or a client or whoever. How are you going to present it? What is the best and the professional way to put across your property, which has all the information that is required for the other person to inquire further?
First is area.
Area. Second?
Building name.
Building name. Yes, Rafia? No. Before area, what does come? What comes before the area? Property type.
1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, studio.
Area, for example, Arjan. Building, for example, property type, studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Then comes your built-up area. So a better and a professional way is to put it across like built-up, not size and this and that. Built-up area, but which is basically the size of the property on the title deed. Let's suppose this is 500 square feet.
Including balcony.
Whatever is written on the title deed, just mention that. What else, Mansoor?
Rent.
View.
View is very important.
What view? Golf course view. Guys, please speak when I will ask you to speak. Please do not interfere. Golf course view. Community view.
Skyline view.
Skyline view.
Pool view.
Pool view. Boulevard view. Whatever view it has, and if it is a selling point, then you should highlight it. What else? After the view, yes, you should know if the property is furnished or unfurnished or semi-furnished. Like in your case, Rafia, your property is a furnished property. All the properties by Danube are completely furnished. So that is also a selling point. Because when you're offering it to someone, say from rental or sales perspective, whatever it is, it's important to note that whether it has furniture inside or not. What is semi-furnished, Rafia? When we say it's semi-furnished? What do you think is ours? जब हम कहते हैं कि semi-furnished property, what does that mean? What do you think is furnished and unfurnished? Furnished means comes with furniture, loose furniture, fittings, fixtures. ये सब चीजें जब होती हैं, and then loose furniture means like you have dining table, bed, sofa. That's like a completely furnished property. Unfurnished property is fitted. Fitted means it has wardrobes, it has everything is like cabinets, wardrobes and all is there, but there's no loose furniture. There's no chandeliers, there's no bulbs and all that. That you have to bring in. So that is an unfurnished property, but it is fitted. Furnished is where everything is available. Semi-furnished kya hai, Fahad? Yes, semi-furnished we say generally when it is, the kitchen is equipped. There are a few different words that we will be using. Like an equipped kitchen also means that it comes with appliances, or you can say white goods available. Or you can say like kitchen appliances available. You get it? So after this, what else do we need? We know what area it is in, what building name, what is the property type, what's the size of the property, what is the view of the property, whether it is furnished, unfurnished or semi-furnished, and what else, Basit? Before that, Mansoor?
Facilities.
Amenities.
We are talking about the property right now, just the property details. Fahad, what else do you think we should add?
Floor.
No, that's not required.
The most important.
We have to give information, as much information which is required.
High floor.
So we should, if you want to, yes, why not? If that is a selling point of the property, you can mention high floor.
No, people do because
Low floor, generally people do not mention. If it is a high floor, it is a selling point, so it's worth mentioning. That's why we'll mention that. Then the most important, whether the property is rented or vacant. In the first message that you send to anybody, you don't need to mention till when it is rented, how much it is rented for, and all. It's up to you. How much control you have on the property. But just for the sake of it, just send this, whether the property is vacant or or rented. And further to this, they will ask you questions about, okay, because this is a generic message that you can make and keep it prepared whenever somebody inquires, or even a broker is inquiring or a client is inquiring, you can just send it across to them. It has that all basic details that will get them attracted. And then if they like that property, after looking at this information, they will then further ask you further questions about it. So rented and vacant as well. What else then, Basit?
Now prices.
Yes, now the sale price, which is very important. Mention in AED. Don't use slang language and words and this and that in these messages. Now, do we have it? Who has a property for sale? You have any properties, Fahad, for sale? Basit? Okay, let's see. This is done. You guys have written it down?
Yes.
Oh, kahan hai wo clean wala? Yes, Basit. What property? Which area?
Sports City.
Dubai Sports City. It is not Sports City. This is the actual word. Which building?
Royal Residence.
Royal Residence 2. What property type?
Studio.
Studio. What's the built up area?
492 square.
492 square feet. What's the view?
Golf course.
Golf course view. Is it a high floor?
Is it?
High floor.
It is. Yes.
Is it furnished or unfurnished?
It's furnished.
Fully furnished.
It's furnished with appliances and furniture.
We just understood what is furnished, unfurnished, and semi-furnished. So what is it? Fully furnished? Okay. What else?
It's rented.
It is rented. And what is the asking price?
395.
So it's 395. Is that the final price the seller is asking?
If it is, if we get the cash, they will.
So you don't write 395. What do you write? So you have some margin for negotiation.
also when it's getting vacant, that is also.
That is not what we're going to tell them in the first message. You have to keep some room. You're not information center that you will tell them everything just in the first. How is a person going to have a conversation with you if you're going to give them all the details right across in this one? There is some details that we will give them later on, and we will talk about that as well. Yes, Mansoor? Wait. So basically, now if you are a broker and I have this property, I will send across a message. You will get a very clear understanding on where is the building, which area it is located, what is the name of the building, what is the type of the property, what is the size, what's the view, it's high floor, low floor, whatever, fully furnished, it's rented, and this is the asking price. Now, if somebody is interested, they will answer you back and ask you about other things. Okay, it's rented till when? So, June 2024. It's rented till, for how much? 40K. In how many checks?
3 checks.
3 checks. Okay. Then
Service charges.
service charges. What are the service charges?
650, 6,000.
Hmm?
6,500. Which is divided 13%.
Hmm?
Divided 13%.
13 dirhams per square feet.
Yeah, 12%.
12 dirhams per square feet. And rent is 40k till June 2024 in 3 checks. I'm a buyer, you've sent me this message and then I've asked you, I didn't ask you till when it is rented, la la la. I was like, what will be my ROI?
8 pounds.
How do you calculate the ROI? Very basic, very basic question. We did it yesterday, but everybody should know. This is the most basic question. Why do people buy properties? Most of the times for investment. And what is their prime interest in, to understand what kind of return on investment they are making. What kind of money are they making when they are buying this property? That will mean that what amount of money are they putting in and what are they going to get out of it every year. Return on investment. So we will calculate, you know how to calculate the yearly ROI? Return on investment. Azaz, write these things down. And whatever you don't know, we can discuss it in detail later on. Okay? And we cannot calculate ROI if we don't know these things. If we don't know what is the size. If we don't know what is the service charges, and if we don't know what is it rented for, or if it is vacant, for that matter. So, Basit?
The yearly rent.
Yearly rent. Okay.
If you do the net ROI, then minus.
Yes. So there is gross ROI and there is net ROI. Fahad, what is gross ROI? What's the formula for gross ROI?
Gross ROI usually includes all the costs that you have to pay. For example, the service charges will include in that as well.
No, that's the net ROI. The gross ROI is where you will just divide rent to cost or the sale price into 100. Net ROI is rent minus maintenance charges divided by your sale price into 100. Write down this formula, guys. Very important. We will do this now. We will calculate for Bas. Basit will calculate it for us basically. Rafia, you understood it now? The gross ROI and the difference between the net ROI, and you know whatever property you have, you know how to calculate it, right? The formula is very simple. Whatever rent there is divided by the total price that you are paying into 100. It will tell you, and now we will calculate and you will get to know how that is calculated. Is it done? Walaikum Assalam, Hanan, how are you? Have a seat. Okay, so in his case, so there is a bit of a calculation that you guys have to make every single time you are doing, most of the time when you are doing secondary market resale. And this calculation is, if you will understand it once, you're never going to forget it because it's very simple. There is no rocket science in it. However, it's very important because these are not numbers. This is money that you owe, that a seller will owe the buyer and a buyer will. So in his case, let's suppose we are selling this studio, which is 495,000 dirhams. I'm going to teach you guys how to make, oh yeah, 300. Oh, let's make it 400. Oh. Let's suppose he showed it at 400, and never quote the exact price, guys. Never quote. Always keep some room for negotiations. Because whatever you will quote, people will always want to negotiate. No matter the price is low or high, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. People will always want some kind of a discount and you'll have to give it to them. So for that matter, just quote a little higher so that room of negotiation, and then you can close it at the price you want to close it. So for example, he offered at 400,000, this and that, and we closed at 395. Okay, this is our sale price. Now the most important thing is whenever the client say, okay, done, I'm buying this property. So what is the cost involved in this property? So you should know, and actually whenever you acquire a listing, whenever the inventory is with you, at the same time you should know what is the total cost of the transaction. For example, I'm a buyer and I call you, and why is that important? And I have only 400,000 dirhams with me. I don't have another dirham further to that. I don't have more money. So you can then ask me and send me the cost breakdown, because you will explain it to me that, madam, there are some operational costs which is mandatory whenever you are buying a property in Dubai. You will have to pay land department charges, you will have to pay agency commission, you will have to pay trustee charges, some title deed charges. So all in all, your total cost for this property buying process will be this. So this cost breakdown you should know how to make at any point of time. And I would say ideally you should make this whenever you acquire a listing that you want to sell. If you haven't made it, I don't think so you are serious to sell, because you don't know what's the total costing of the property. So let's just quickly do this. So this is the studio that we are always give complete details to the buyers in terms of the financials. Why is that important? Because it gives them clarity. And a lot of people are buying for the first time, so they don't know the process. And they don't know why they're paying this fees and that fees. So you as a broker should know what you are offering them, and you should know, and you should be able to explain it to them that whatever fees they are paying is for what purpose and how are they going to make, what is the mode of payment of that fee as well. So for example, in this case, the studio sale price is for 395. So for example,
यहाँ से बैठ रहे हैं
कहाँ है?
I'm right side पर do. Yes.
My God, this is a nightmare. So what are we going to do? We are going to write the name of the person the check is going to be made, or the payment, the mode of payment, and the amounts. So first of all, this 395,000 Rafia should go to who? We're going to write the payment goes, whatever payments are involved in this transaction goes to who? What is going to be the mode of payment, like manager check, cash, bank transfer, card payment, this and that, and how much is the amount? So the first amount that we have to pay is 395,000, and this goes to who? Okay, don't say anything. Who knows this goes to who? Can you raise your hands? 3,95,000 ही कहते हैं, 95 को क्या कहते हैं? 3,95,000 किसको जाएगा? Just raise your hands. I just want to know. Who does it go to? So Amna, you also don't know?
No, I'm not like into this discussion anyways.
We are selling, I didn't ask you to say a word. Do not say anything. I just said we are doing a sale. 395,000 is the sale price. We are just going to write here who the payments are going to go to and what is the mode of payment and what are the amounts. So I just asked a very simple question. 395,000 is going to go to who? Who's going to get did I ask you to say anything?
You've been asking.
I am saying just raise your hand if you know. So please guys, raise your hands if you know. Fahad? To the seller. Mansoor? Yes, to the seller. Rafia? No, I am not sure if they are right. You don't know. Farah? फर्क क्या हो गया? फर्क तो आप तो प्रॉपर्टी भी बेच चुकी है. एजाज किसको मिलेंगे 3,95,000? बेचने वाले को मिलेंगे ना यार. गाइस एक मिनट, आई जस्ट वांट दिस स्मॉल थिंग. दानिश किसको मिलेंगे ये पैसे? मैं सेलर हूँ. आई एम सेलिंग अ प्रॉपर्टी फॉर 395,000 दिरहम्स. मेरे हाल है बताने में, समझाने में कोई कमी रह गई है? मैं ये पूछ रही हूँ कि ये पैसे किसको जाएंगे, टोटल अमाउंट. सबसे पहले बायर ने 3,95,000 का स्टूडियो खरीद रहा है वो, तो उसने वो पहली पेमेंट तो वही करनी है ना, 395,000 दिरहम्स. तो किसको मिलेगी? सेलर को मिलेगी ना, जो बेच रहा है. How difficult was that, Farah? Rafia? What?
That's why it was different.
No, but how was it confusing? My question is that. Don't get confused. Even if you don't know, just answer. Okay, anyways. So it goes to the in the name of the seller. What is the mode of payment generally when we are making these in what is the standard procedure? Manager's check.
मैं अगर seller से understanding हो तो हम simple check भी दे सकते हैं.
No, it's not allowed. The payment has to reflect at the same time. Otherwise, it's not allowed.
Developers take simple checks.
और मैम cash दे सकते हैं.
Are we talking about secondary market sale? So the standard process is managers checks. However, they also accept cash if the seller agrees and gives consent and is physically available. Then cash payment can also be done. Again, as I said, if the seller consents to it, otherwise no. The standard process is, which we will stick to until or unless there is an exception and there is a special case, we will talk about it. But we stick with the standard process, which is manager's check. Why do they take manager's check?
How to make a manager's check? What is the procedure?
So a manager, what is the difference between, yeah, this is a question which is very important. What is the difference between a normal check and a manager's check? A normal check is a check that we will get and we will present it to the bank. It can clear and it can also get bounced, correct? चेक आपको मिला, आपने डाल दिया, क्या पता बाउंस हो जाए, उसके अकाउंट में पैसे ही ना हो. चेक दे रहा है वो, but you don't know. Hence, land department has made sure that whoever is coming to the transfer, they come with a manager's check, which is basically called a banker's checks also. It's a guaranteed. Whenever you go to the bank, let's suppose I have 100,000 in my account and I go to my bank and I say that I want to make a manager's check. They will deduct a little fee like 25 dirhams or so if it's making from my account, and they will give me the manager's check. Manager's check, the manager of the bank will stamp on it and that money will be immediately deducted from my account. Okay? That money will be deducted from my account at the same time. That is why it's a confirmed check. This manager's check cannot be bounced. Hence, it's the mode of payment in land department.
So that amount is not blocked or anything.
It is actually blocked from my account, or it is. When manager's checks are made, that so in hindsight, it means that if I don't have 100,000 in my account, I can't make a manager's check. If I'll go to the bank, they will say, you don't have that money. So to make sure that the client, whoever is coming for the payment, has the money in his account and all that, so they make manager's check. Normal check, if I don't have 100,000, I can still write a check, right, and give it to you. You don't know if I have that money or not.
Okay, but that was when they made the manager's check. After that, maybe she did a
No, if once a manager's check is made, that money cannot be moved.
For how long?
Generally, any check is valid for 6 months.
So for 6 months, if you don't use that manager's check, you cannot use that 100,000.
No, you cannot. And if manager's check can also get cancelled. Let's suppose I go today for a transfer and my transfer didn't go ahead, or whatever happened and it didn't happen. I go back and I give the check, the maker of the check, goes back, give my check back to the bank and says, I don't need it anymore. They cancel it and the money comes back into my account.
And during the transfer, when they give the manager's check, they use it immediately at the same time, and when it will reflect, then only they will transfer the property.
No, manager's check means the money is there. Manager's check is like cash.
It is guaranteed.
It is a guaranteed check. It's 100% sure that this is a check. And of course, the land department check. There is check number, bank number. They validate the check is real or not. Of course, you don't make fake checks.
However, something very important that I learned in my recent transfer: never ever make manager's check on the name of the name mentioned on the passport. It should always be on the name mentioned in the Emirates side. Otherwise, they do not acknowledge that. Yes, it happened with me.
I will come to that, Amna. Can you, Amna, we're not there yet. Wait.
Emirates ID was your father's name.
Wait, Amna, wait.
मैं भी यही सिखा रही थी.
सबर कर जाएं थोड़ा सा. वहाँ पहुँचने दें मैं पहले. जब हम मैनेजर चेक के वहाँ पहुँचेंगे. So, in the name of the seller. And what name of seller? So, passport copy and title deed will have similar names. But in Dubai, when they make your Emirates ID, for example, my name is Farwa. I don't have any, that's my full name, Farwa. Okay? I don't have a second, third, fourth name after that. But when they make Emirates ID, anybody can open their Emirates ID and see that they write your father's name right next to it. So my name on Emirates ID is not Farwa, it's Farwa Riaz Ahmed. Yeah? Hunain, your name will be? Rashid Ahmed. Mansoor, yours will be? Rafia, yours will be like that as well. Danish. So there is a bit of a, sometimes, of course, so now if I go to land department and I see that my passport has Farwa and my Emirates ID has Farwa Riaz Ahmed, so it's a bit of a clash, right? And even my bank account is made on Farwa because it was made like several years ago, and at that time, before on the Emirates ID, it was just the name as per your passport. Now it's mandatory you put your father's name next to it for whoever, and husband name if you are married. So it will be. So what happens is, if you go over there and the checks are fine, checks don't matter in that scenario, because what they will correlate it with the, what do you call it, the title deed as well. And so what happens, for example, somebody has a title deed from 10 years ago and they were non-residents at that time. Okay, so they have, let's say, Farwa written over there. Later on now, when they're selling the property, they already have an Emirates ID, and the name showing in the system is Farwa Riaz Ahmed. But they will not say anything. What they do is, they will charge you a little fee and they will make the change at the same time over there, charge around 200 dirhams or something, and they can immediately change it in the system, whatever correction is required. A lot of people, like, let's say somebody is not married before and they had a name, and later on they got married and the name is changed. So that all correction can be done at the same time. But generally, it is advisable to prepare, which I always tell everybody, to prepare your checks as per the title deed. Whatever is written on the title deed, just follow that name. Banks also, when they are giving mortgages, they don't write the checks in the name of your Emirates ID. They will make the check as per the title deed, no matter what. Whatever is written over there, they will make that check. Amount 395,000. So buyer will have to first of all prepare a manager check in the name of the seller as per the title deed name of 395,000. What are the other costs, Fahad? What else does the buyer have to pay? Danish, your Fahad? DLD charges, which are? What is DLD, Danish?
Dubai Land Department.
Yes, it's Dubai Land Department. How much is it, Farah?
4%.
4% of the sale price. Can we give cash in Dubai Land Department? This payment for Rafia can be made through cash to Dubai Land Department. Good morning, Hamza. Where were you?
I was in the hospital with a friend.
What happened?
He had stomach pain.
And your phone was off?
Yes, I was out.
Wherever you're going, drop a message that I'm not going to be there.
This was an emergency and my phone was off.
And your phone was off in the morning?
Yes, the battery was low and I didn't charge it in the night.
All right. Try to charge your battery at night.
Inshallah.
All right. So, what do you think, Basit, is going to be the mode of payment?
Manager check or cash?
Is he right? Rafia, can we make manager check or cash like we talked about the seller? Check. Yes, Farah, check. Manager check or cash, both options are available for DLD check, for DLD payment. Both. So Rafia and Farah are saying both. Izaz, what do you think? Both. Okay. Basit? I already asked you. Manager check. Huh, Mansoor?
They can pay with a card or they can pay with cash. I don't know about the check.
You don't know about the check? Mansoor is like on another level.
Both cash and check.
Both cash and check? Hamza, did you know? Okay, you tried it. Yeah, Danish? Your input is very important. Check only.
Manager's check or credit card?
Manager's check or card or bank transfer. Hunain is absolutely right and everybody else is wrong. Cash is absolutely not accepted in DLD. Please write it down in capital letters. Cash payment is not allowed by or accepted by land department. However, the best mode of payment, the standard is manager's checks. In the name of what? Dubai Land Department. Client will ask you, what name should I make the check? Dubai Land Department. Okay? And has to be manager's check. And if you haven't done it via manager's check, then you can also do, they can send you an online link and you can make an online transfer or card payment. That is also a bank transfer at the same time, like a card payment is also allowed. So what else do you think there is charges? We still are on DLD charges. So there is something missing here, Basit? Admin fee? We're talking about DLD charges. We took 4% of sale price. What else is required? Title deed fee. If a property is ready, okay, then the title deed fee, again it is in title deed fee is paid as title deed fee is also paid to land department DLD. So generally we add it in this one, or we can also, for explanation purposes, we can write it separately as well. Dubai Land Department, the check, or you can add it to this check also. Generally, it is 580 dirhams if it is a title deed transfer. When the property is ready, you get a title deed. So the title deed transfer, you have 580. If the property is off plan or under construction, how much it is, Hunain? Fahad, I told you yesterday. 40 dirhams. Write it down, guys. This is if the property is write it down, guys. I'm not going to tell you again and again and again because it's very boring. 580 dirhams if the property is ready, which has a title deed. Just for you is ours, when a property is ready, the document that we have for ownership is called title deed. And when the property is under construction and is not handed over, the property ownership document is called ukud. So if we are doing a property transfer, which is on the basis of title deed, then you will pay 580 dirhams for title deed transfer. And if you are doing an ukud transfer, your charges are 40 dirhams. Transfer fee, title deed charges, and this also is in the name of DLD, and you can make it by card or same mode of payment. Okay. Now, NOC charges. Very important, and understand this.
Can you pay the charges by cash?
No. We just spoke about it. Whatever goes to the land department cannot be cash. Has to be bank transfer, card payment, or a manager's check. So generally what we do is, when we are telling, so we enter it over here only. DLD, 4% land department charges plus title deed fee. So we add 580 dirhams over here. So they make one check. ये समझ में आ रहा है लिखा हुआ क्या? बिल्कुल ही नहीं आ रहा. यहाँ से नजर आ रहा है आपको? What are NOC charges, Fahad?
NOC charges depends on developer to developer.
Okay. What are NOC charges? What is NOC? What does NOC means?
Non-objection certificate.
No objection certificate. Why do we need no objection certificate, Hamza?
So the property is ready and there is no objection in it.
There is no objection. So basically, NOC charges are paid towards the, who gets the NOC charges? Paid towards the developer. Who gets it? The developer. And you can, they have their own payment, cash, bank transfer, check. It can be any, because it depends on the developer. Whatever mode of payment are they accepted. So when we are making generally, as per the standard process, the best policy, the seller has to pay, because it is a seller's responsibility to make sure that the property is ready for transfer. So generally the NOC, and the NOC has to be taken by the seller. A buyer, me, if I'm a buyer and you're a seller, I cannot go to the developer and ask for it, because I am not the owner of the property. The developer will not recognize me. The developer will only speak to the seller. So the seller will initiate a process where he will send the form F, which is a MOU, and the buyer's document and his document, and say that I have already sold this property. Here are the documents. Kindly issue me the NOC. And maybe at that time, the developer will come back and say, yes, we will give it to you. However, your maintenance charges are pending. Please pay your next 6 months maintenance charges in advance to clear or get the NOC. So he will make the payment, and then they will give him the NOC charges, NOC document. Most of the cases you need an NOC document for transfer. In some cases you don't, but those are very less. NOC charges for a ready property, please write it down. Very important. When a property is ready, the NOC charges are between 500 to 3000 generally. Not more or less than this. Minimum 500, like MR, he'll charge 500. When the property is off plan or under construction, Rafia, what is it? The NOC charges for any off plan under construction property is generally 5,250. If it is ready, 500 to 3,000 charge kar sakte hai. If it is offline or under construction, 5,250 is the general practice. Okay, with a lot of, and why is this more? Because generally what the developer has to do is to change the SPA and create a new document and do some process at the back end. That's why they charge a little more. So after NOC charges comes our, so again, when we are making a cost breakdown, we put the NOC charges over here so that we are able to negotiate it better. We send it across to the buyer, and they can review it. If they don't want to pay the NOC charges, if they are objecting, we can go back to the seller and tell them that, sir, you have to pay. The buyer doesn't want to pay this amount, okay? Then is the agency commission. Agency commission in the name of the agency. Like for example, ANW Real Estate, the check is going to be made in the name of so this also, best practice is manager's check, and or we can also do cash if it is less than 50,000. What are the charges? What is the commission percent?
2% of the sales price and along with 5% of VAT.
2% of sale price plus 5% VAT. So in this case, Basit, how much is the commission? What is this? What is the commission here? Including VAT. पहले तो बताएं 2% of 395 कितना है? 7,400. VAT इस पे कितना लगेगा? 5% VAT लगेगा. VAT क्यों लगेगा? Because agency commission, because we are providing a service, and every service has VAT applicable on it. So 370 total. This is your commission, agency commission. We check. बासित कैलकुलेशन छोटी सी नहीं बता सकते क्या? 7,900 कमीशन है और वैट कितने? 395. Total amount 59. हाँ 8. ये हो गया आपका कमीशन. What else is there that we need to add here? We have to quickly finish this, guys, because the other people are here. So let's just quickly finish it. There is another amount which is your DLD trustee fee. The client is going to ask you, what is a DLD trustee fee? So you have to explain it to them that previously land department used to do their transfers. In the Lakshan, can you please be quiet? Because I can only hear you. So when the transfers used to happen only in land department, there was a lot of timing issue and there are a lot of things which got pending because there was a lot of load on that one office. So what they did was they introduced trustee offices, which are basically franchises of land department, and now they have long hours and they can facilitate a lot of clients at the same time. So there are a lot of franchisee offices of land department in Dubai. So we generally go there and do the transfers, and they have a charge which is, so there are 3 types of fees that you can pay. If the property has a title deed, I mean if the property is ready with title deed and the property value is less than 500,000, then your fees is 2,100 and 2,100. If the property value is more than 500,000, then your trustee charges are 4,200. If you're doing an ukud transfer, which means you are doing an off-plan resale, charges are 5,250. Please note it down, it's very important, and do not forget this. Because you will do whatever sale transaction you are going to put either of these figures in it. Property is ready with a title deed and the price is less than 4,200. Less than, if it is less than 500,000, this, more this, equal or more, is 4,200.
If we will do 4,99999.
Then of course not, Mansoor. Please make sense. Even if it is one dirham less, of course not.
So it has to be paid by buyer.
Of course has to be paid by the buyer. So all of this cost breakdown sheet what we are making is what the buyer has to pay. Okay. So let's just do a quick calculation of what all the buyer is paying. 395,000. Open your calculator, Basit, and please do right calculation this time. Let's suppose the NOC is this 8295 and total. What is the total amount? इजाज़ आपको कुछ समझ में आया है? हाँ? कुछ चलो ठीक है. Whatever you don't understand, you sit with me later on. What is the total amount?
424,775.
424,775. So basically, a property which is worth 395,000 dirhams, when we go to the transfer, including all operational costs, we have to pay a total of 424,775. And you should know how to explain it to the client, like I have explained it to you, that what are these charges and why they are paying this and why this is mandatory. Do you think that this land department charge, so I'm a buyer, I'm asking you, the land department charges has to be paid every year? Be confident, Farah. No or yes? No. Why? It's just a one-time charge. Just like your property registration, it happens once only until you sell it again and the new person will pay for the registration. So, it's just a one-time cost. All of this that you're paying is a one-time cost. The property value is this and this is all your one-time cost that you're paying, and we call it the operational cost. So, once you have it, you can present it to the client that this is going to be your total payment. Tomorrow we are going to do the rent and maintenance calculation so you can get a better understanding of that. Any questions?